being very throttled. Very throttled. How are you today? It looks a little lonely. Good to have you with us today. Good morning. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome to the program. Glad that you're here. Telephone number calls 850-771-0049. And I know that, they're throttling our viewership. So just keep that in mind. Whatever. And I know that some of you have been silenced. Good morning, Donna. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Milton Post, for hosting while we can. I do find it amusing. Hey, there's a lot going on. There's much going on. I got a ton of video today. Tons of video. Just weird. The world is a weird place. How do you get 25,000 people to show up to your inauguration? Well, you bring in the National Guard. That's how you do it. Your forecast. Today, sunny, high near 62. Tonight, clear skies, low near 36. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 69. Currently, it's 34 in Milton, 45 Gulf Breeze, 37 Navarre, and 37 in Pensacola. How you doing? All right. Good to have you with us. Mercy, people. It's crazy. To say the least, it is crazy. Is social media repressing your free speech? Yes. The answer to that is yes. If you can't speak your mind without fear of being deleted or frozen or capped, that's repression. That is repressing free speech. I saw a headline yesterday, and it was just so bizarre. That if you are supporting Trump, or if you said that the elections were fraudulent, that's not free speech. That's not free speech. Okay. So who decides what free speech is? Does Twitter decide free speech? Does Facebook decide free speech? Who decides free speech? Last time I heard, it was only things like yelling fire in a theater. That was not free speech. Free speech is being reined in. And it's only free speech if it agrees with what they say. And we'll give you several examples of that today. But just want to give you a heads up. All right. Local stuff. A man was arrested Thursday for murder during a double shooting in Escambia County on December the 15th. Freddie Levi Jefferson. Do I have Freddie's picture? Fast finger Freddie. Here he is. Freddie Levi Jefferson, 33, is charged with homicide, aggravated battery, larceny, and vehicle theft. The shooting happened around 11 p.m. December 15th in the 2100 block of Buckingham Road in Pensacola. A 23-year-old man was shot and killed, while another man was shot multiple times in the back and legs and taken to the hospital. We talked about that story when it came up, but they got the guy. Escambia County will explore the financial feasibility of a county-wide broadband network. So we want to get everybody online. A recent Magellan Advisors assessment found that almost all residents in the more northern parts of Escambia County do not have any access to the internet at speeds defined as broadband by the Federal Communications Commission. In a non-binding straw vote of county commissioners Thursday's workshop, commissioners decided to reserve $650,000 in CARES Act funding for design engineering, detailed business and financial planning, and grant services and applications in the first step toward a county broadband network. Now, this does not lay any lines. This doesn't bring any broadband. All it does, the $650,000 All it does is studies it. The study identified about 3,000 under or underserved residents without access to true broadband in Northeast Gambia. It would offer high-speed internet to 3,000 underserved, $79 per month for a speed of 150 megabytes. Additional fiber connections up to a symmetrical 1 gigabit would also become available. I don't want those folks to be without internet. I don't. But I don't. It's weird. The stuff that they're using CARES Act for, is that weird? It's only to be used for COVID stuff unless we decide otherwise. 850-771-0049. Just saying. All right, so here's this. Let me get rid of this. This came up. I'm going to get my face on the window so you can kind of see this. Have you noticed your electric bill going up? Well, you will. Because Gulf Power customers are seeing a huge increase in their bills. Not an incremental increase. Huge. Some of the many Gulf Power bills sent to Channel 3 showed amounts due for $500, $800, and even more than $1,500. Several customers say they never pay more than $150 a month for electricity, even during the time of the year, like winter. It was up like $800 or something in a cutoff notice, said Nikki Strickland. I think I was $671 for 1 month. A spokesperson, Sarah Gatewood, says she couldn't speculate on specific cases, but she says her best guess is the colder weather. People are running their heaters more, and they're therefore using more electricity. Now, let me ask you a question. It's wintertime. It's wintertime. We had cold weather last year. Do you remember having your bills go up that much? Anybody? No. Gatewood says you can monitor your power usage by checking your Gulf Power account online. For customers that have bills that are higher than they anticipated, or even they're having trouble paying, please reach out to us. We do have tips that can provide to help manage your usage. So it's not our fault. You're just using too much. Now, again, there are folks that run their heaters only at night. The daytime, you don't really need it. But at nighttime, and most people set it low. It doesn't kick on unless it's absolutely necessary. And still, massive power bills. Christmas lights, yeah, I know. But look, during the summer, Heather says because of the Rona. Higher than normal because of the coronavirus. But when we were all shut down in the summertime, that didn't seem to be the case, did it? It was summertime. AC was running all the time. People were in the house. The AC was running all the time. More electricity running in the house. People weren't at work. If they were working, they were working from home. That didn't seem to be the case in summertime. Just saying. 850-771-0049. I might agree with you, except for summertime. Okay. Seniors in Northwest Florida say the lack of avenues to register for COVID-19 vaccination appointment is leaving them locked out of inoculation. Since the first vaccines for those 65 and older were administered in Escambia County January 5th, there are hundreds of calls from seniors who are frustrated with the process. Their main complaint is that most of their options are limited to online registration. I called it Thursday when they said we're going from phone calls to online registration. I said, these people are 65 and older. Most of them can't program their remote. And you want them to register for a coronavirus vaccine online. And it's an issue. It's an issue. They don't know how to do it. It's nothing against old people. They just haven't been brought up with it. And they don't think like that. Why have we made it online? And look, and there, Josh Newby, who is the communications director for the Council on Aging of West Florida, he says their office is also taking calls from seniors who need help signing up. They can't do it. He says a lot of them aren't comfortable with a computer if they have it. And then the others in low income, they don't have internet. A lot of them don't even have a smartphone. They can't do it. Wow. County leaders say some people are not showing up for their COVID-19 vaccine appointments. Many people are casting a wide net when trying to get an appointment for the vaccine, signing up multiple places, and then going with the first place they could get in. That's an understandable method as limited vaccines are available, but health officials say you should make sure to cancel your appointment if you no longer need it. So people are trying to schedule, well, we've got a full booking and half are showing up. Well, I got a better deal over here. Make sense? I don't know. Why not? Let me ask you a question. It's just a question. If it's an issue, if scheduling is an issue, if you are in this zip code, this is where you go. Kind of like voting, unless it's mail-in. Yeah. If you are in this area, this is where you go. I don't know. Just use some common sense instead of complaining. They're signing up and not coming in. See, now they can pay to start a program to help seniors stop. Use a CARES Act for that. Use a CARES Act for that. Yeah. Yeah, I do know. Catherine says, what floors me is I was out of state golf power. I don't know what that means, Catherine. 850-771-0049. Have you signed up for coronavirus? Have you signed up for the vaccine? I know some of you are like, no, I'm not going to. That's fine. I just want to know who has gotten the vaccine and did you have any trouble doing so? The FBI is warning police nationwide to be on high alert to share intelligence leading up to next week's inauguration for the president, sock puppet Biden. Top law enforcement leaders in Northwest Florida say this. They all say they're heeding the warning, but they're not anticipating any problems along the panhandle. If there are protests, they expect them to be peaceful. I don't see any issues here. Now, Governor DeSantis has called in the National Guard. He has called in the National Guard in case there are some problems. Because, there might be riots. There might be people who are angry. Not like burning down buildings or looting stores for TVs and shoes, which they didn't call in the National Guard for that. Let me ask you a question. They didn't call in the National Guard for those things, for BLM. And for things that was going on. While that was going on, they didn't call people in. This is something that may happen. They don't even know. And they've already called them in. You tell me how that processes. Now they want to fund the police. Yeah, they want to fund the police for that. No, it's ridiculous. Why is it that there is National Guard for something that may happen, and while the riots from BLM and Antifa were going on, there were no National Guard? Anybody got a guess on that? 850-771-0049. I'm getting fed up. Modernizing and improving Florida's broken unemployment benefit system. That's the goal of the new legislation introduced on Wednesday. The bill would expand benefits, set guidelines for the office, and establish an oversight branch for the Department of Economic Opportunity. Amid ongoing layoffs and job loss from coronavirus closures, tens of thousands of Floridians went online over the past 10 months to file unemployment claims, only to find they couldn't get through or that benefits were not enough if they came at all. The state's current unemployment system allows for a maximum weekly payment of $275 for 12 weeks. Under the proposed legislation, the weekly payment would go up to $500 and last up to 26 weeks. Guess what? That was introduced by Democrats. Now, do not get me wrong. I had to take unemployment for a little while this summer. However, it's not supposed to be a permanent thing. If you give somebody $2,000 a month to stay home, they're not going to look for a job. It would also give the state no more than 3 weeks to decide whether a filer qualifies for benefits. Now, I don't disagree with some of this because it is a laborious thing. The website was brutal, but it wasn't designed for mass amounts of people. It wasn't, and it was overwhelmed. They know that. Governor DeSantis has got stuff working on it to get a new website or whatever. So I don't know if this is much ado about nothing, but they do want to give more for unemployment. Look, if you could get $2,000 a month for sitting on your tuchus, could you do that? Yeah. The National Guard that DeSantis has called in is going to be in full effect until full force and effect until January 24th. Okay. Rebecca Jones, and you may remember this crazy Karen. She is a crazy Karen. She was fired from the Florida Department of Health after she refused to manipulate the COVID-19 data, she says. She turned whistleblower, and on Saturday afternoon, she said she'd be turning herself into Florida police on Sunday after a warrant was issued for her arrest. So in a series of tweets on Saturday, Jones alleged that the state failed to connect her to a message sent on the state's emergency management system last year, calling her on civil servants to blow the whistle on Governor Ron DeSantis' pandemic response. They had been the basis of a search warrant executed by the armed FDLE agents of Jones' home on December 7th, where they seized phones, computers, and memory drives. The state issued a warrant for my arrest, even though the crime is not related to the warrant. To protect my family from continued police violence and to show that I'm ready to fight whatever they throw at me, I'm turning myself into police on Sunday night. The governor will not win his war on science and free speech. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Why is it that free speech only applies if you're a Democrat? It's only applicable if you're a Democrat or if you're a wackadoo like this one. Well, it's a fight on free speech. Well, we must hear it. What morons. What morons. And how dumb are we to allow it? How dumb are we to allow all this nonsense? 850-771-0049. Okay, a 61-year-old woman was arrested Thursday after she wouldn't leave Einstein Brothers Bagels after refusing to wear a mask. That's according to the Palm Beach County Police. Cindy Falco de Corrado of Boynton Beach is facing charges of trespassing and resisting arrest without violence. This is the weirdest thing ever. Here you go.
hands off of me. You are kidnapping me. I will What is your name?
I'll give you my name.
Take your hands off of me. You don't have the right, sir. Get your hands off of me. I've done nothing wrong. I am not a criminal. Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of me.
Ma'am.
No.
Sir,
get your hands off of me.
Ma'am.
That's a violation.
Ma'am.
Take your hand off of me. Sir,
don't come behind me.
You need to read the Constitution. You need to read the Constitution. Get your hands off of me. You don't have the right to do this. You're taking a picture of this. This is so illegal. You take your hands off of me, sir. I am not a criminal. I've done nothing wrong.
I'm asking you to
And I'm asking you to get your hand off of me. I'm asking you to take your hand off of me. I'm asking you to take your hand off of me.
Ma'am?
Take your hand off of me. Take your hand off of me. Take your hand off of me. I don't want your hand off of me. You're violating my personhood. I have my First Amendment rights. Look at this.
All right, so this woman is not wanting to wear a mask. And it gets crazier. You can watch it on Milton Post. You can go to find it on Milton Post, WEAR. But look, in a sense, she's right. There are no laws that you have to wear a mask. There's no laws. There are no laws passed. It may be a mandate, but there were no laws passed. It's not against the law to not wear a mask yet. But I do have a problem with her resisting the officer. Right? Show some respect. You can disagree all you want. And but it continues to go on, and they put her in handcuffs, and they throw her and they arrest her. They arrest the woman. I don't know so much for not wearing the mask, but for I don't know. It's really hard to tell. You will comply. You will comply. So is not wearing a mask free speech? I don't know. We know the efficacy of masks. We know it. We know the efficacy of masks. So was she arrested for not virtue signaling? Is that the case? Was she arrested for not virtue signaling? I know, I got it. Or have somebody else buy it for you. I was somewhere the other day, and I was enjoying a sandwich, and somebody came in and didn't have a mask. And he's like, and he was a worker, and I get it. He wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything like that. He was just trying to get some lunch. And I couldn't get his attention, but I was going to offer, hey, give me your money. I'll go get it for you. I got a mask. I'll go do it. But are people being arrested for not virtue signaling? You're not playing the game. And that's against the law. You got to wonder. What else? But you can find the rest of that video, and it's crazy. There's a lot wrong with it. I don't agree with the officers. All they had to do is get her outside the door. They got her outside the door. They pushed her down on the squad car and handcuffed her. Why don't they just say, listen? But she was unreasonable as well. So it's a difficult situation. But look, this will get worse. It'll get worse. Attorneys representing California's inmates are urging the state and federal officials to advance about 1 out of every 10 prisoners to the front of the line for the coronavirus vaccine. We're going to put our prisoners above our seniors because our seniors don't matter that much. We got a limited supply, and we're going to vaccinate our prisoners. You see how weird that is? They're asking Governor Newsom and a U.S. district judge to order the swift vaccinations of every inmate who hasn't already been infected, starting with those who are most vulnerable. More than 4,400 of the state's 95,000 inmates currently have active infections, including 1 of every 3 at Central Coast Men's Prison, 1 of every 10 at the state's largest women's facility, where a group says the officials bungled their response. We're putting prisoners above our seniors. Yeah, that makes sense. Now you couldn't. They said you could get it from surfaces. Then they said you couldn't get it from surfaces, but yet people are still wiping stuff down like it's gone out of style. And now you could get coronavirus from ice cream. 3 samples of ice cream from a Chinese company, figure that, tested positive for COVID, and thousands of boxes of the dessert have already been confiscated as a result. The contaminated ice cream caused a Chinese food company to dump 2,089 boxes of the product, although officials believe more than double that amount, 4,836 boxes, have been contaminated. More than half of the total boxes have already been distributed for sale when the positive tests were discovered. Market regulation authorities in other provinces outside of the place where the ice cream was sent were notified of the issue. For customers who may have purchased the product, are being told to report to their health community officials. 1,662 employees were tested at the company Thursday and were quarantining. It was able to survive in the ice cream due to the cold temperature and was likely transferred from a person who had the disease into the ice cream. Bad Chinese ice cream. The Chinese are trying to kill you with their ice cream. Devils. Chinese devils. The National Rifle Association has filed for bankruptcy and plans to ditch what Wayne LaPierre, the CEO, says is a toxic political environment of New York. It's going to move to Texas. The plan can be summed up quite simply. We're dumping New York and we're pursuing plans to reincorporate in Texas. The gun rights group is, why have they waited this long? Why did the NRA wait this long? Anyone? Why have they been in New York? Why weren't they moved at the start of the Obama administration? Anybody? I don't know. Gun rights group faced legal issues in New York in recent years. Attorney General Letta James sought in court to have the organization dissolved over allegations of financial fraud. The NRA's claimed financial status has met its moral status bankrupt, James said in a statement. While we review this filing, we will not allow the NRA to use this or any other tactic to evade accountability and my office's oversight. Oh, aren't we important? The move comes after the NRA dumped at least $4.5 million into the Georgia Senate runoff elections, in which both Republican incumbents narrowly lost to Democratic challengers. In November, the group settled an insurance case in New York for $2.5 million without admitting any wrongdoing. So the NRA, it's restructuring its nonprofit, absolutely. Which means it'll change some of its structure of how it's done. Rep. Jamie Herrera Butler of Washington, one of 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach President Trump on charges of incitement of an insurrection, is facing criticism from her district's conservative base. On behalf of our entire membership, the Clark County Republican Women Executive Board is unified in condemning your actions to betray a sitting president. And this vote will never be forgotten, as your action is a personal affront to the 70 million plus Americans who voted for our president. You're going to see a lot more backlash on these idiots who were supposed to be Republicans voting against President Trump. And they should be throttled. You talk about these people, and what I mean by throttled is being booted out of office. Do you agree? U.S. defense officials say they're worried about an insider attack or other threat from service members involved in securing President Sock Puppet's inauguration. So they are worried about soldiers being involved in the insurrection. The FBI is going to vet all of the 25,000 National Guard troops coming into Washington for the event. The massive undertaking reflects the extraordinary security concerns that have gripped Washington following a deadly January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol by pro-Trump rioters. It underscores the fears that some of the very people assigned to protect the city over the next several days could present a threat to the incoming president and other VIPs in attendance. So they don't even trust the military that they've got guarding the thing. They are trying to vet, and they're worried about insurrection from the soldiers that are there. What? Does that sound like somebody who got the majority of the votes? They have National Guard in every one of the 50 states for something that may happen, for riots, for insurrection. Why? Because they know they're wrong. The Democrats know they're wrong. Pretty interesting. Mary says, it'd be interesting to see how much groundwork was laid by Trump when he became a Florida resident and how it impacts our state under new administration. I don't know. We'll see. But can you believe this? They don't even trust the troops that they're bringing in. Wow. That's a wow, my friends. 850-771-0049. I want you to see Biden's response to this video. Let me find the video here. Here we go. This is Biden's response. When a reporter asked whether there was a scenario whether he would not be taking the oath of office outside on Wednesday. Is there any kind of scenario where you won't be taking the oath of office outside? Here's the video. You have to listen close because she's kind of off mic.
We're going to be doing a lot of work and can hardly wait to have you. I'm taking this beyond what we're supposed to do. See you.
Okay.
Come on.
Scenario would not be taking the oath outside on Wednesday.
Do you think the filibuster will need to go to pass your stimulus plan?
So she asked him, and he just looks around. Look, and I'm not so concerned about the expression on his face. He acts like he didn't hear her. But watch him as he walks. He's like a doddery old man. He is a doddery old man. He clearly is incapacitated. He is not fit for service. Do you see him? Do you see this guy? George, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that time has passed. I've been waiting for it. I get stuff every day, George. It says the same thing. Today, nothing. And I am very disappointed in what has been promised and not taking place. Good morning. You're on Sunrise Santa Rosa.
Hey, good morning. It's Donna. I'm in Facebook jail.
I understand. I'm sorry. Do you need a care package?
Right. No, I was telling you to fix the date. Today's the 18th.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Not the 17th.
My apologies. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Have a great day.
Thanks, Anna. Okay, I fixed it. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, I've been waiting for something to happen. Nothing ever happens, George. Am I going to watch the inauguration? No. No, I will not. He looked medicated. He might be better medicated. Biden might be better medicated. But he's just a doddery old man. He's incapable. It's just, again, look at this. Let me show it to you again. Watch him. Watch as he walks.
I'm taking this beyond what we're supposed to do. See you.
I don't want to take any questions. Okay, look at him. Look at that walk.
Taking me outside on Wednesday.
This guy has no clue.
Do you think the filibuster will need to go to pass your...
And so somebody else shouts another question before he can try to answer that one. Try to get him out. No. Whatever. President Joe Biden will sign a series of executive orders on his first day in office as he begins to roll out his legislative agenda. Throughout his campaign, Biden promised to take immediate action on a variety of issues, including the coronavirus pandemic, climate change, and immigration. He said he will sign about a dozen executive orders on Inauguration Day. Those orders include extending the Department of Education's pause on student loan payments, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. He is going to hinder us right from the beginning with the Paris Climate Accord. Extend federal restrictions on foreclosures and evictions, and reverse the Trump administration's Muslim ban. It wasn't a Muslim ban. It wasn't a Muslim ban. What it was keeping people from coming in unvetted. These executive actions will deliver relief to millions of Americans that are struggling in the face of these crises. The Muslim ban? Really? It's not just to reverse the gravest damages of the Trump administration, but also to start moving our country forward. How does that happen? In addition to executive orders on Inauguration Day, Biden plans to launch his administration's 100-day masking challenge in an effort to encourage more Americans to wear a facial covering to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Now, I want you to hear what he says about the masks. Hold on to your seats, kids. Listen to this.
Look, I hope we now know this is not a political issue. This is about saving lives.
Saving lives.
I know it's become a partisan issue, but what a stupid thing for it to happen.
But you did it. The Democrats did it. The Democrats made it a political partisan thing.
This is a patriotic act. We're asking you.
What?
We're in a war with this virus.
We're not in a war with China. We're in a war with the coronavirus, and it's your patriotic duty to wear a mask.
Saying have shown that wearing a mask from now until April will save as many as 50,000 lives.
Really? Because the masks, unless you're wearing the right one, don't work.
Quite frankly, it was shocking to see members of the Congress, while the Capitol was under siege by a deadly mob of thugs, refusing to wear a mask while they were in secure locations. I'm so proud of my Congresswoman, Ray.
Does that sound like a unifier? He's being a unifier. He wants to unify people. These guys, you know them. We are trying to get them out because they helped incite the violence with these thugs. Unifier.
State of Delaware, Lisa Brunt, Rochester, trying to hand out masks while people are lying on the floor, huddled up, and a Republican colleagues refusing to put them on. What the hell's the matter with them?
What the hell's the matter with the Republican Unifier. He's a unifier. This guy is out of his mind. Yeah, he does. Yeah, you're stupid. What a stupid thing to do. What are they thinking? He is a unifier. He's a unifier.
4 members of Congress to date, including a cancer survivor, now have COVID-19 who were in those rooms. For God's sake, wear a mask.
Maybe it comes from licking windows. Maybe.
Yourself, for your loved ones, for your country. These are real matters of life and death.
Wear a mask for your country. What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. People. Man, I just can't take it. He's going to immediately send a legislative package to Congress that'll include a pathway to citizenship for an estimated 11 million illegal aliens. That's according to immigrant rights activists in communication with the Biden-Harris transition team. Los Angeles Times reports that the bill also would provide a shorter pathway to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of people, millions, with temporary protected status and beneficiaries of the DACA program. National Guard members deployed in D.C. will be permitted to carry lethal weapons while they're protecting the U.S. Capitol through Inauguration Day, according to reports. Because you are dangerous. And you must be stopped with lethal weapons. Now, the police during the BLM riots, remember, they weren't allowed to use lethal weapons. They weren't. While rocks and Molotov cocktails were being hurled at them, and they were getting beat down by these mobs. No. No lethal weapons. But for something that may happen, that's not happening, but may happen, they're allowed to use lethal force. In addition to lethal weapons, the National Guard will reportedly be equipped with traditional protective gear like protective vests, gas masks, and shields. The Pentagon had authorized lethal force in the wake of a deadly riot. Delta Airlines has put nearly 900 people on its no-fly list in the wake of lawmakers being harassed on flights over U.S. election and the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Reasons for individuals facing a ban from the airlines include not complying with Delta's mask requirement for engaging in unruly behavior related to the results of the presidential election, according to Reuters. Among those people are supporters of President Donald Trump, who harassed Senator Mitt Romney on a flight from Salt Lake City to Washington, D.C., where they chanted, traitor, traitor. But I want you to see this. This was something that happened in an airport. Here's Uncle Mitt in an airport, and a woman that comes up to him. Listen to this.
How you doing?
Put your mask on.
Don't tell me what to do.
Mask on.
Please put your mask on. It's required by law in this airport.
I'm standing 6 feet away.
I'm sorry. It's required in this
Okay, I'll
airport.
tell you what, because you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it because I want to have a chat with you. Why aren't you supporting President Trump?
I do support the things President Trump does that I think I agree with.
You're not supporting him.
I'm sorry. I do agree with many of the things
He says, I support him on things I agree with.
is for, and I support those things.
Are you going to support him in the fraudulent votes?
The election? No, I'm not.
Why not?
Because it's a long story. You didn't get a chance to hear my remarks in Congress. It's going to be a real long story.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's a long story, but we have a Constitution. The constitutional process is clear. I'll follow the Constitution, and I'll explain all that when we meet in Congress this week.
Well, you haven't supported him, and you didn't even support him in the election.
No, I did not.
Why?
For reasons I explained at the time.
You were voted in as a conservative to represent the conservative constituents. Period.
That's not how the Constitution works.
It is. You're voted in to represent us. You work for us. Am I wrong?
You're going to walk away from her.
Exactly. And I am from Utah.
Yes, well, but you're not the only one.
I voted. I know. There's a lot of people that didn't vote for you. We'll make sure of that one.
Of course I'll be proud of it. That's totally appropriate.
You admit it. You know it. You know it's coming.
They didn't want you in there anyway. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't even voted in legally.
Trump is a juggernaut. Your legacy is nothing.
You're a joke. Absolute joke. It's a disgusting shame.
So now let me ask you a question. There may be many people that do not agree with that approach. That's disrespectful. But I want to remind you that Maxine Waters endorsed doing that to Trump supporters and to Republicans. Remember that? Go up to in restaurants and grocery stores and anywhere in public you see them and harass them while they're having dinner, while they're with their families. You harass them. You intimidate them. So before you think that this is a wrong way to do things, just know turnabout is fair play. I don't like it when people say, well, the Democrats can play that way, but the Republicans can't. And whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't make a difference. The Democrats get all bent out of shape. And don't make any mistake, Mitt Romney's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. Where do you think that Obamacare came from? It came off of Romney Care. Romney is a Democrat. And I'm glad he did not win the election. I didn't want Obama, but I didn't want Romney either. That would have been a train wreck. But look, he can't stand the heat. He does not like questions from people who don't agree with him. He does not. But Delta is putting people on a no-fly list. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. How long before there's going to be a social credit system? So let's say you go to take a flight somewhere. You want to take a flight. And they check your activity. So they go to your Facebook page. They look at where you're a member of a church, what party you're with, what kind of groups you're members of. And you can't fly because you're a risk. You can't fly because you're a member of a radical group or you have radical ideas, and so you can no longer fly. You're added to the no-fly list. Do you think that's coming? I do. I think that's very, very close. Yep, exactly. And that's where they're going to model it off of, because Joe Biden is connected to China. And as is most of the Democrats and even some Republicans, they're going to model it off of China's social credit program, where if you don't have the right ideas, you can't participate. You will be what we call socialed. And you will be not allowed to use public transit or maybe banking. Who knows? It's not that far away. And it all starts on Wednesday. The Los Angeles Times ran a headline on Sunday that will grab the attention of Trump supporters. Make America California again. MACA, Make America California again. The paper goes into detail how the Golden State is emerging as the de facto policy think tank for the Biden team. It said there's no place the incoming administration is leaning on more heavily for inspiration than in the progressive policy agenda. The fact that Vice President Kamala Harris is soon a former senator from the state will be in all the meetings and have the last word with the president after they are over. She'll be sharing ideas, innovations, and breakthroughs from California that might help solve problems on a national level. Let me ask you a question. How many problems does California have? Oodles. What problems has California solved in California? Anybody? Anybody. You name one problem California has solved in California. Maybe a population problem because they're running people out. But other than that, they've solved zero problems in California. Make America California again. What? This is lady from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had her Twitter account frozen on Sunday after committing multiple violations. Reuters reported that Greene got into a back and forth with a Georgia election official. Twitter spokesperson told Fox News that Greene's account has been temporarily locked out for multiple violations over their civic integrity policy. She announced that she'd be filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden January 20th or 21st, something like that. Well, I'm trying to get to all this. I am running out of time. During her appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, Katie Couric attacked Republican members of Congress and President Donald Trump. Couric went so far as to ask, how are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump? How many times have you heard that phrase in the last week, 2 weeks? Deprogramming Trump supporters. Nice. Oh, here you go. This is interesting. This idiot. Remember, he was there at the Capitol riots, and he was there to document. He's from Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all that kind of crazy stuff. John Earl Sullivan, the left-wing activist who was arrested for allegedly being involved in the deadly riot at the U.S. Capitol, was released from jail without bail. It's a good thing he's not black. If he was black, they'd throw the book at him. If he was black, they'd have shot him down. No, this moron was released without bail. Despite objections from government prosecutors, Sullivan was released from custody. The judge determined that the prosecutors had failed to meet the legal threshold to keep him in custody as he awaits further court proceedings. They had his cell phone video where he was screaming, "Come on, you blanks." It's a good thing he's not black, because they would have shot him down, right? That's what they say all the time. Not true. Not true. He gets let go, but others are being prosecuted. Tell me what's right about that. Okay, here we go. This is Ocasio-Cortez. You know her, you love her. She's a little bit of cray-cray. She's a special kind of stupid. Here is her, and she thinks she is really intelligent. Listen to this.
The president's cabinet, you have Secretary Elaine Chao, who is the wife of Mitch McConnell, by the way. Does that seem a little conflict of interest, inappropriate?
Well, what about Joe Biden and all his cabinet being connected to the Ukraine? Any kind of conflict of interest? Just saying.
No, but regardless, she was the Secretary of Transportation. She resigned. Betsy DeVos has resigned. Acting Secretary of DHS, Department of Homeland Security, has resigned. And all of them are resigning rather than fulfilling their duties in enacting the 25th Amendment and removing the President of the United States. I have a message for anyone who is resigning after Wednesday. Too late. Too late. You're not going to resign after Wednesday and act like you weren't a part of it. Were you secretary on Wednesday? Yes, you were. You were a part of it. Were you secretary every single step leading up to Wednesday, yes, then you were a part of it. You don't get to allow for an attack that kills 5 people. And then afterwards, you say, I wasn't a part of it. Yes, you were.
Wow. They're bringing it in. They will not rest until they indict Trump. Even afterwards, even after he's gone, they're going to try to indict him and anybody involved. It is punishment, people, and they're going to send you a message. They're sending you a message. You're going to be deprogrammed. These people are going to be arrested because we disagree with them. And if we disagree with them, they cannot be allowed to continue. That's the message. Do you get it? Do you fully understand? I don't know. And that, my friends, is where we're headed. Make you feel good? Does you feel good about where you're at? Do you feel good about where things are going? Holy smokes. A forensic audit report of Dominion voting machines in Michigan's Antrim County, which received national attention after it discovered that an error flipped 6,000 votes for President Donald Trump to Democrat Joe Biden, was released Monday after the judge allowed the report to be unsealed. The report, produced by a group working on behalf of Antrim County resident William Bailey, who filed a lawsuit against the county challenging the integrity of the election equipment, claims that the error had flipped the 6,000 votes was machine error. We conclude that the Dominion voting system is intentionally and purposefully designed with inherent errors to create systemic fraud and influence election results, the audit report charged. The system intentionally generates an enormously high number of ballot errors. Electronic ballots are then transferred to adjudication. The intentional errors lead to bulk adjudication of ballots with no oversight, no transparency, and no audit trail. This leads to voter or election fraud. Now, so what? So what? It doesn't make a difference. Now they don't care. They won't care that these things are released, that it got flipped. Who cares? Nobody cares. It's all right. Don't sweat it, because Joe Biden is in. They're not gonna. It's too late now, because Joe Biden is a unifier. It doesn't make a difference what comes out about the Dominion voting machines now. Yeah. They're inheriting the system and it'll flip votes, and no fraud here. But we got rid of Trump, and we're going to deprogram all the supporters of Trump, and we're going to indict Trump because he was right. We don't want to run again because he was right. The Democrats have power. They have wrenched it from the Republicans. And you will pay the price. And they know now, it's out. This audit, forensic audit, shows the truth. And it doesn't make a difference. It's okay to have it released now because it's too late. Buckle up, kids. Buckle up. I got to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Share the video. I don't know if it does any good because they're throttling us, but just keep it. All right. Stay strong. Have a great Monday.